Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yolanda Melody. Today's video is going to be jam-packed with information, but one of the things I want to discuss is the dark truth about the plastic surgery industry and how I believe that they are actively trying to hide information that puts them out of business. I'm going to share loads of information in this video about methods that I have personally used for years that has naturally changed my facial structure and the way that my face looks in general, purely by using completely natural, safe techniques. Those techniques I'm going to share with you today, including one technique that I actually share with everyone that I know, that if everybody did this, Botox would not exist. Because no one would go and get it, because it is pointless. But I'm really getting ahead of myself here. Let's start off with what inspired me to do this video. So there are 3 channels that I've been subscribed to for many years that all go into granular detail about facial structure, the muscles within the face, different facial exercises that you can do, and now 2 of these channels are facing huge battles in relation to censorship. There was one lady in particular that had a channel with 600,000 subscribers, and all she talked about was facial yoga techniques. And then one day she woke up and everything had been removed. Her channel was gone. Now you guys know I talk about a lot of deep subjects on this channel. We're all very familiar with this problem of censorship. But the fact that they are now actively trying to hide information about facial yoga just proves even more that we are living in draconian times. And if you ask me, this world has turned completely upside down, where people can promote the most unhealthy practices and they never have to worry about their channels getting removed. But the second that you start talking about natural health, you stand the risk of being silenced. And the question you have to ask yourself is, why? Why is it like that? Well, here I might have the answer. The global cosmetic surgery market size was valued at $67.3 billion in 2021 and is projected to reach a whopping $201 billion by 2031. Just by looking at these numbers, you can clearly see that this industry has become a money-making beast. And obviously, by the projections, you can see that they want people to get more and more surgery. They want people to pay for these expensive, dangerous procedures. They do not care about your well-being. What truly shocks me is that things such as Botox and filler have become so normalised in the recent years. And in my personal opinion, these injectables are actually even more dangerous than plastic surgery itself. Now, quick disclaimer. Believe it or not, I am not actually against plastic surgery. I do not believe that it is a shameful thing for someone to get surgery, and I don't quite understand why people hide the fact that they get surgery, because to me, it really isn't shameful. The issue that I have is that people are being sold the idea that there is only one solution and it includes many risks, and people are being lied to, or rather information is being hidden from the public actively that is a much safer option and it doesn't cost you any money. To illustrate my point even further, this is how I see it. Imagine if fitness wasn't as big as what it is now. Imagine if fitness was a tiny little niche that only a select few people actually did. Imagine that gyms didn't exist and it wasn't common knowledge that you can actually lose weight from working out. Imagine if most people believed that the only way to lose weight is to go and get liposuction. That is how I see this situation, but it's related to the face. Most people have no idea that they have a lot more control over how they look than what they are led to believe. Now imagine if people who did fitness videos actually got their videos removed for promoting dangerous practices. Who knows, if things carry on, maybe we'll see something like that happen. Anyway, let me compose myself. Let's get back to the normalisation of plastic surgery, fillers and Botox. I know people in person who have had many procedures, so they have told me from first-hand experience that when they went in for these procedures, they were not really informed of any of the risks. To be more specific, getting breast implants is a common procedure that a lot of people think, because so many people get it done, that it must be safe. If you were to search on YouTube now, there are a plethora of girls that are doing videos about getting these implants removed, because they've actually found that years down the line, they seem to develop strange illnesses that manifest as loads of different symptoms. And then they started researching about something that is now known as breast implant illness. A lot of these girls who have had these implants now have faced a point where now they are having to reluctantly remove these implants because simply functioning in day-to-day life has become so difficult because these implants are making them unwell. And what's so sad is that when they get them removed, obviously they don't just go back to how they were before. There is often a lot of skin that has stretched, there's scars, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because it's better to be fully informed so that you know the risks, and if it is still worth the risk to you personally, then at least you were informed. When I was younger, I often fantasized about the idea of getting a boob job, but then I discovered Maca, and then I discovered the Victoria's Secret bombshell bra, and the rest is history. Moving on to the next rant, which is fillers and Botox. I have a lot to say about this. Filler has become so normalised in this day and age that it's like going and getting your brows tinted. And younger people are going to get these fillers, and they're being told that the thing that's being injected into them is a completely natural substance and that it dissolves completely within 6 months, and that it's completely reversible as well because you can just get it dissolved. There are videos out there now where doctors are showing x-rays of people who have had filler many years ago, and the filler has not actually been metabolized by the body. What happens is it migrates around the face. And this isn't an anomaly. This is what actually happens. Full stop. The problem that I have with filler is that you are injecting a foreign substance into your face. And realistically, you can't expect that that substance is going to be completely metabolized by the body and that it's just going to disappear. What you'll notice with a lot of people who get filler is they start to develop almost like a lumpy texture around their face. This, I believe, is evidence of the filler migrating into different parts of the face. The reason why people get filler in the first place is because they believe that it's safer than invasive surgery. It's relatively quick and easy. You can just go for an appointment, come out within half an hour, and it's done. And it's also a hell of a lot cheaper. But the problem is that the upkeep of the filler starts to become incredibly expensive. And every single time that you go, there are risks involved that, again, are not mentioned to people. One of those risks is something called facial necrosis, which I'm not going to post any photos of this on here, and if you were to Google it, you have been warned. But what can happen is if the person injecting the filler just so happens to hit a nerve or a certain part of the face that it's not supposed to, it can cause the flesh on your face to start necrotizing. Another thing that filler does is it adds volume to the face, and there's various reasons why people want this done. Sometimes it's to add volume to the face to smooth out wrinkles, but as you can see, the problem with this is that after 6 months the filler has not dissolved but moved, so you then have to add more volume to the face. And the more that time goes on, as you can see from so many different celebrities, they start to develop this kind of enormous face. I shouldn't laugh really because it is truly tragic. Because in my personal opinion, none of these people needed these procedures. The driving force behind people getting this stuff done, in my opinion, is body dysmorphia. And the fact that we have been strategically programmed over the years to believe that there is only one face that is beauty, which is this typical plastic surgery face. But to me, beauty is actually health. It is in our biology to recognise a healthy person versus someone who is potentially unhealthy. In the natural world, what is attractive is health. We are not naturally all supposed to be attracted to whoever has the biggest lips, the smallest nose, and the biggest eyes. There are so many different types of face shapes. In fact, every single person out there naturally is unique. We are not all supposed to look the same. But the media and the system keeps showing you this same plastic surgery face, trying to convince you that you are ugly. And that is bullshit. Anyway, I'm gonna have to compose myself again. The frustrating thing about filler is that you can achieve better results most of the time with facial yoga and things like mewing, depending on what you're looking for. But in my personal opinion, if you go down the natural route, that will always look better than a synthetic plastic version. You could use the example of someone who's had a BBL versus someone who has been weightlifting to gain curves over a period of years. The person who has the BBL may look more extreme. They may have a more extreme looking hourglass shape. But if you ask most people, they will look and they'll say there's something that's just a little bit off. They can't quite put their finger on it, but because it doesn't look natural and things are sometimes way out of proportion, the human brain registers that as this person is not healthy. Another thing about BBLs as well is that they are promoted massively, and you don't just go and get one BBL. You have to keep going, getting the procedure done over and over again because the fat will just migrate where it naturally wants to go. So you're fighting against your own nature. It's not just a one-time procedure. And also, I believe this surgery in particular is one of the highest risks that you will die on the operating table. But again, this has been normalised as if it's just a casual procedure that you just go and get done. But what's frustrating is that you can go to the gym, you can do weightlifting, and you'll feel so healthy and strong. And you can achieve a better result doing that. And if you want to ramp it up, you can take Maca, which I've done a whole video about Maca, and I feel like this is a fantastic superfood that has done wonders to add curves to my body that weren't there before. Naturally, I was very straight up and down. Okay, on to the next thing. Botox. The entire purpose of people getting Botox is that they are injecting, yet again, another poisonous substance into their forehead to paralyze the muscle so as not to create wrinkles. I'm going to show you a technique that I originally learnt from Coco Face Yoga, and if you follow along to this technique, I can confidently say that you will never feel the need to go and get Botox, and you'll also be very annoyed that you weren't told this sooner. So, this is the technique. You get your hands. Now, I'm not going to press because I've got my eyebrows on, but what you want to do is press firmly on the forehead. You can also go like this, flat palms, and you want to be pressing firmly so that you cannot crease your forehead. Now, what I want you to do is slowly open your eyes. And you want to open them as wide as physically possible. Keep it there. And then slowly squint. Ever so slightly squint. And then you want to slowly open the eyes as wide as possible. If you feel like your forehead wants to crease, press firmly so it doesn't. Carry on doing this 5 more times and I'm going to walk you through it. So you want to do this slow and controlled. And when you open your eyes, you want them to be as wide as physically possible, as wide as you can get them. And then when you close, you want to slowly edge. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The amazing thing about this is I wouldn't actually say this is an exercise as much as I would say it's like a way of resetting the muscle. If you can see here, my forehead does not move. I can move my eyebrows. I can move my face independently. But the forehead does not crease. Just killed a fungus gnat. With most people, I would say about 70% of people, because they don't know how to independently move their facial muscles, a lot of the time when they talk, all of the muscles will be led by one another. So when people are talking, a lot of people, when they talk, if they make their eyes go wide, they're trying to, make a point like this, they will automatically crease their forehead because they simply do not know how to isolate the eye muscles or the orbicularis oris independently. This technique that I've just shown you, when I did simply 5 repetitions of this, I noticed instantly that it stopped my forehead from creasing. And what's amazing is you don't even have to keep doing this every day. I just do this technique once in a while if I do notice that I have creased my forehead at some point. But isn't it frustrating that people are being told that the way to do this is to go and get some foreign substance injected into the muscle in their forehead to paralyze it, and to pay £300+ each time? This technique literally takes less than 5 minutes and it costs nothing. If you did follow along with that exercise, do comment down below and let me know how it felt for you and if you noticed a difference straight away. The next thing I want to talk about is mewing. And I'm only going to briefly talk about this because I have actually done an entire video about this, which I'll put in the description below. Again, this technique has come from a YouTuber called Dr. Mike Mew, who has been plagued with lawsuits from orthodontists because he is letting people know information that will put them out of business. What mewing is using correct tongue posture so that the tongue sits flat on the roof of the mouth. And what it does is it lifts the face. And this is a long-term process. This is something that people should be doing 24/7 around the clock. It's like body posture. You notice how people who have good posture instantly look more attractive because, again, good posture is health. The same goes for mewing. But the thing with mewing is that the more that you mew, the more that your bone structure will start to become more attractive because the tongue is supporting the face. It's lifting everything above here. But instead, people are told to go and get cheek implants because apparently that's the only way to lift the face. But yeah, if you want to know more about mewing, check out the video below. The next thing I want to talk about is facial exercise in general. There are quite a few channels on YouTube that teach facial exercise, face yoga, but what I've found very recently is that not everyone teaches the right methods. Earlier in this video I did say that there were 3 channels that I've been following for years, one of them being Dr. Mike Mew, the other one being Coco Face Yoga, and there was a third one that I was going to recommend, but I've recently edited that out. This third channel specialised in facial exercise, and I'd been following this woman's exercise programs for probably about 6 years. And recently I started noticing that I wasn't really liking the results anymore, simply because the routine itself, I believe, is heavily flawed. I'll be doing a video much more in depth about this whole thing, because I've spent so many weeks re-educating myself about the muscles in the face and which ones you actually need to exercise and which ones that you need to relax. weeks. But for now, I will just say that the only facial yoga exercise person that I will promote on this channel at the moment is Coco Face Yoga. And I want to just show you something here on the screen now. This picture again is on Coco's website, and it shows that there are two different muscle types. The ones highlighted in blue are the ones that we typically don't use enough. Coco calls these the sleepy muscles. These are the muscles that tend to get overlooked, and if these ones lose their tone, progressively it will make the face look less attractive and cause things to sag. Now, these muscles that are highlighted in red are the overworking muscles, particularly the forehead and the masseter muscle, which you can see is the lower cheek area. I've been doing tons of research about the masseter muscle, obviously because I'm currently dealing with an issue related to it. This muscle is actually incredibly strong and gets used so frequently whenever you talk, whenever you eat, and if you suffer from TMJ issues or teeth grinding, this masseter muscle will be massively overworked. Now, this facial routine that I was following from this other channel included a masseter exercise. So basically for quite a long time I have been working out an overworking muscle. And now I'm in the process of trying to relax it and lessen the volume in that area. And I really wanted to share with you guys the trials and errors that I have been through so that people are more educated, because the problem is that facial exercise and face posture is not a mainstream subject, and the only experts in the field are being censored, having their channels removed, or it's just swept under the carpet as if it doesn't exist. So unless you do a heavy amount of research, you can end up following the wrong advice. But one thing that I can say is that this in of itself proves that your habits relating to your facial muscles can dramatically change the way you look. A lot of the time, especially if people are unhappy, they will unconsciously start to lose the muscle tone in their face. Another thing that actually damages your muscle tone, which I just have to mention, is alcohol. You know how you see people go on a night out and they get absolutely plastered, and then someone takes a photo of them and the next morning they look at it and they're like, oh, what am I doing? Why do I look like that? One of the reasons, other than possession, is that alcohol relaxes all of your muscles. But it doesn't relax them in a good sense. Alcohol just attacks every cell in your body, because ultimately alcohol is poison. That's why people get intoxicated. That's why people get drunk on alcohol, because it's poison. Moving on. I know that there are so many wrong things going on with the world, and there's so many important subjects that need to be spoke about. But this is something that is very personal to me, because as much as I talk about improving yourself from within, I also believe that people in general just become happier when they are improving all round. As humans, I believe that we all do want to be beautiful. There is nothing wrong with appreciating beauty and striving for beauty. And what I find so sinister about this time is that if you do strive for beauty, you're often vilified. I have absolutely no shame in admitting that I am vain. I am obsessed with self-improvement in every single facet of the way. But the problem with some people is that they hyper-focus on improving their looks and they don't give a shit about their soul. But as I always say, it's all about balance. There is no harm in wanting to be confident in how you look, and I don't believe there's a problem with putting in the work to ensure that you look your best. Health is wealth. Anyway, I hope that you learnt something new in this video. Comment down below your thoughts, and if you yourself have any natural beauty tips that you want to put in the comments, you know, healthy natural alternatives to what we're being offered in the mainstream media. Thank you so much to everyone who likes, comments, shares and subscribes. And thank you also so much to everyone who donates to this channel. It really does help a lot. And I'll see you in the next video. Love you, bye!